Yes, live on LiveWire today, we have some wonderful guests. We're going to talk about an organization called Successful Thinkers. Jim Bellacera, who is a writer and a leader in kind of new wave thinking in terms of successful thinking and how communities and small businesses get together. And it's going to be a great show, so you better sit down, get something to write with, sit down, get a glass of water, and stay tuned for that wonderful program coming up right after this. It's called LiveWire. Long time ago in the 50s, there's a guy named Maltz. I think he wrote a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. And it was the beginning really of a whole movement of positive thinking and supportive development of how you can be a positive actor in your life and move your life forward. It's been sophisticated and developed over the years, and there are a number of people who have come out, and you can see them on television many times. And I have one of them in the studio, Jim Bellacera. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Ray. It's a pleasure to be here.
It is a pleasure to talk to you about this. It's very interesting. And successful thinkers is what you call it, right?
That's exactly what we call it, yes.
People say, yeah, that's what I want to be, you know. Think and grow smart. There's a number of, Ernest Dimnett wrote a book called something like that, and it's, that was all personal development stuff. But this, your movement, in a way, has a lot to do with interaction, people in developing social skills and sharing back and forth. Correct, or am I wrong? Dead wrong?
No, you've hit it. I mean, it's all about relationships. I mean, when you think about business and life, people care more about how much you care than how much you know. And our whole movement, and I'm really glad that you picked that term, because it is a movement. We've really, we've got feet to it now, and it's in over 60 cities now, and people really like it. They want to be a part of this thing. These are all entrepreneurs, people who...
Did you say 60 cities?
Yes, I did.
What? Tell me, how does this thing... Wait a minute, hold back. 60 cities are interested in this Successful Thinkers project, right?
Yes, and that's only the beginning.
God, you have to tell me, how does that happen? How did this flow? It's just good ideas are great, but they're only as good as the media that carries it, how it gets out. You know, I have great ideas, brilliant things. You know, they're still in a little book at home.
Well, you got to put feet to your ideas, right?
How do you do that?
Well, you know, a year ago, the concept came to me. And I've been an entrepreneur literally my entire adult life. I'm 52 years old, so since the age of 19, I've been self-employed. I haven't worked for anybody else. And I've always had to go out and create my own business. And as scared as I was to go out and do that, I still had to do it. And I joined well, I never really actually joined the BNIs and the LaTips and the 2030 clubs and the Chamber of Commerce's, but I did visit them. And at the end of the day, in order to come back, you have to pay to come back. And yet they were a wonderful resource for people that were like-minded, people that might be interested in what I have to say and my product or my service. But I realized that, especially in this economy, most people just don't have the spare change to reinvest into becoming a part of an organization.
Right.
And so Successful Thinkers, that was the first, we call the first pillar of Successful Thinkers, was to create live events that didn't cost anybody so that they can make a decision to go. Because when there's no fee associated, you're less fearful of going. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it surely does. You know, I mean, you know, if you, or the second fear in that is that, or when you get there, you're going to get drawn into something that you
might regret.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? They come back. And they keep coming back.
Well,
and
60 cities, it sounds like you got something going here.
Oh, and it's exciting. You know, I tell my wife all the time, I said, there's no downside to this thing. I mean, we really are helping people meet new potential clients, prospects, service, people that they can sell their product or service to. They're meeting new friends. They're getting referrals. They're making business happen. And they keep coming back. I was sharing earlier that there's a gal, Nahid Nassaf. She's a wonderful lady. She's an entrepreneur. And I called her one night. I had landed back in Sacramento. I was coming back from a Successful Thinkers event in some city. I don't even know where I go anymore. And she said, you know, Jim, she goes, I want you to know, the first event I went to, you were there, and the synergy was high, the energy was high. It was just felt right. She goes, but you know, the last one I went to, which I think was the day before, she goes, Jim, you weren't there. And she goes, you know what? It was just as good as the first one. And that was a compliment to the program.
Yes, yeah.
And we have it, because it is free, that means it's basically a pay-it-forward type of program. We all serve the program. So people who want to be an ambassador will step up to the plate and say, what can I do to help? And some people might actually go out into the community and find a local restaurant. The restaurants love us because we're bringing them business.
Yes, sure.
And we don't have to sign contracts with them, so some people may not want to or be able to afford to purchase a meal, but they at least come. And the restaurant owners are certainly grateful because they do get business every time. We've been in like Crush 29, gosh darn it, La Provence. I can't think of all the restaurants, but we've been all over Sacramento, and we're going to be in Tommy T's here in just a few weeks.
Wow, that's good.
We're, my goodness, we've been at Sacramento Kings twice now. We'll be there again. This time, the third time, we're going to have Bobby Jackson come be our guest speaker, and we actually have the mixer at the arena before the game starts.
Great, that's really wonderful. You had you brought an introductory kind of thing that you have on your website?
Oh, the video that's on the front page.
Can we look at it?
It's 57 seconds, yes.
Okay, 57, that's 57 seconds of goodness, so let's have a look at it.
Sure.
Okay? Okay.
When you think successful, you do successful things and you make good choices. That's successful thinkers.
So what's successful thinkers?
People coming together, businesses learning how to meet, greet,
So
and
you
exchange.
think that people ought to come out and hear Rudy Whittaker this Friday? Absolutely. Come out and support him.
People walk up and just say, hey, Rudy, how you doing?
There's a Successful Thinkers event, and you are the speaker.
Come out this Friday to see Rudy speak.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rudy Whittaker.
And it's all about the community. What do you think, Kevin?
I think it's exciting.
It'll be well worth it.